7. Barrett outside the switch. Doncic goes all
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video. I hope you guys are doing well, and I'm bringing you guys another prospect video. This time it's on a big man, the power forward slash center from Fresno State. His name is Orlando Robinson, and I think it would be great to just talk about a later type of prospect, someone that's projected to go later, because we don't just hold the 11th overall pick in the draft. We also hold pick 42, and I think Orlando Robinson definitely is a sleeper in this draft. Obviously, he's not a perfect prospect. That's why he's being projected in that second round range. He's been jumping up some boards, so maybe we have to trade up a little bit when it comes to the second round. But I know a lot of you guys are thinking a power forward, like a center. Why do we need that? We may potentially bring back Mitch Robinson. We'll see what happens with that situation. But we still have Nerlens Noel. We still have Jericho Sims. I like Sims. I think he could be a very nice depth piece for us. But when Nerlens Noel's health, you never know what's going to go on to happen. So I think it's always great to have an emergency policy player and also someone that can change up your offense and just bring you more versatility. And I think Orlando Robinson is very capable of that. He is 21 years old. He's coming out as a junior. And if you take a look at his physical profile, he has a pretty solid physical profile. He's 6'11" to 7 foot. I've seen some websites 6'11". I've seen some websites 7 foot, so you could round that up to 7 foot. But he is 6'9", apparently without shoes on. So yeah, you could just he's gonna have shoes on when it comes to an NBA game. So I think that's how they should personally be measured, in my opinion. But he is 240 to 244. Again, there's a mixture of weights and heights out there, but he's in that 240 range. And he has a 7'3" to 7'4" wingspan, so definitely has a very solid physical profile. But he went on to play in the Mountain West Conference, which isn't a very high conference. That's one of the main reasons he's being projected in the second round. And you take a look at his age, he's coming out as a junior, but you really saw the progression year by year when it came to his stats. Obviously, he came off of a very solid year, averaging 19 points per game, averaging a little over 8 rebounds, and he's a very skilled big man that went on to really progress his game and mature his game year after year. So he brings us some versatility when it comes to his offensive skill set. And I don't really look at it as a negative when it comes to his age and his upside, because he already has a versatile offensive skill set no matter what his age is. And I'm going to be starting off with spacing the floor. I really like his ability to space the floor. Yes, there was kind of that streakiness from the outside, but he's pick and pop potential. He made 1 3 per game, and he has good mechanics. He has a fluid, good looking jump shot. I really like his ability to knock down shots, get his feet set, and I think you could do a lot of things when it comes to him. Movement, just setting screens, popping to the outside. I really do like his ability to shoot the basketball, and it's not just from the outside. When he's open, he has the ability to face up against his defender. This is one of his signature moves. When he's in mid-range territory, he has the capability of jab stepping, facing up his defender, and knocking down a mid-range jumper that way. When it comes to the post, he does a good job. He has the capability of knocking down fadeaway jumpers. He has a nice soft touch from the post as well with that hook shot. And he has the ability to thrive in the high post as well. He does a good job creating offense for others out of the high post. If it's finding guys cutting, just these swing passes outside of the perimeter. But he's a talented, very skilled big man, so I like his ability to create offense out of the high post for himself, but also set other guys up. He's a high basketball IQ. He really progressed his game when it came to the mental side of things. Even if it wasn't the highest of competition, you see the skill set, you see the talent out there on the floor. He doesn't have a crazy level of fluidity when it comes to his game, but you see his ability to really score off the dribble. If it's spinning his way to the rack after performing off the dribble, if it's performing outside on the perimeter to create separation, if it's using even a step back, he's able to create going to the basket, mid-range territory on the outside. Sometimes he did a little too much, which resulted in him being out of control, using his dribble, driving down the lane, resulted into offensive fouls, and his handle needs to get a little bit tighter because it also resulted in the turnovers. But you see the flashes, you see the skill when it comes to Orlando Robinson's game for sure. But obviously, when it comes to the inside game, he didn't shoot a crazy clip from the inside. Shot 50%, from the inside, and some guys are worried like the physicality of the NBA is bigger than the Mountain West. He didn't even play like the highest of competition when it comes to college. So is there going to be that struggle in the inside? Yes, he has the finesse. He has a good amount of post moves, but I would like to see him play a little more physical. And because he's not the best of athlete in the world, he kind of is flat-footed. Sometimes, like, if he goes to explode, there's not a certain level of great explosiveness when he gets the ball in the dunker spot or someone drops it off to him. He's not going to really explode to the rim. So he's a solid athlete. He's not a great athlete. When you see him in the open floor, he runs the floor pretty well, but he kind of looks heavy-footed out there, if I'm being completely real with you guys. But I think he makes up for it with his hustle. I think he makes up for it with his skill. But again, he's not the perfect prospect because a lot of people look for the young players when they're done with their rookie contract. Some scouts or some GMs are like, I want my guy to only be 22 years old. When this guy's rookie contract's up, he could potentially be 23, 24 years of age. But then if you get this guy in the second round with this skill set, you're paying him less money and he could be a very successful player. But yes, he brings a different level of versatility to our offense if it's an emergency policy player, if someone goes on to get hurt, because he has the capability of knocking down shots. So he's very skilled on the offense side of the basketball, and he has the capability of catching lobs. And despite him not being a fantastic athlete, he is good enough to really catch lobs around the rim and finish, utilizing his height and also his wingspan. Good thing he does have these physical tools, which really helps him on that side of the basketball. But yes, I would like to see a little more physicality to him. You could still have that dog in you and not be physical, if you know what I mean. Like Kristaps Porzingis, he had that dog in him. A lot of people like to call him soft, but I understand people calling him soft from the standpoint of taking too many jumpers, but he was a gamer, and he's not a kid, he's a grown man, he's able to drink. He is a gamer out there on the basketball floor, so I like what he's able to bring offensively. He can set guys up, and he can shoot the basketball, so he has potential to have a very solid offensive game. He averaged over 18 points per game, despite it not being in like the ACC or anything like that. He was still capable of scoring the basketball and got better year after year when it came to defining his skill set. And now getting into rebounds, I know a lot of people are like, he's 7 foot, he's over 230, long wingspan. I expect him to average a lot of rebounds per game. He only averaged, for his career when it came to college, like a little over 8 rebounds, so a lot of people would have liked to see that higher. But due to him not being the best of athlete in the world, again, he's a solid athlete, but he's not a crazy vertical level athlete to go up and snag the basketball at a really high point. And I do think he has to do a better job holding the ball higher around his head, like when there would be an entry pass, just a quick thing to touch on here on the offense side of the basketball, then we're going to get right back to the rebounding. When there is an entry pass, he needs to do a better job keeping the ball above his head, but I think that could be fixed with NBA coaching, just being a little stronger with the basketball. And he has that mentality to continue to get better. But when it came to rebounding, he was able to utilize his wingspan, and he does have that competitive edge to him, and he has a good feel of where the ball is going to go. And I would like to see him be a little more physical when it comes to boxing out. He has the tools, but due to him not being crazy strong, not like he's strong, but he's not like crazy strong, and he's going to have to get stronger for the next level. 8-9 rebounds isn't the worst in the world, but it's going to be a much different beast when it comes to the NBA level. When it comes to physicality wise, you're going to have to become smarter, but he knows his limitations. He knows how to utilize his arms, which I really do like. But getting into the defense side of the basketball, he is caught flat-footed, and he's not the best laterally. Like, he has solid footwork, but he doesn't have the quickest of feet. Like, he's not really caught out of position a lot. It's just that he doesn't move his feet that well, if you know what I mean. I don't think it's going to be at like some Enes Kanter level defensively, that type of thing. He can get caught flat-footed, but when his feet are moving, he's a pretty solid defender. But when it comes to these quicker players, if it's in the post, they have a lot of finesse moves, or when there's guards outside on the perimeter, he does struggle with them, and they're able to blow by him. Knows when to play straight hands up fundamental defense, and when it comes to his defense, yes, there is work to do there. He can gamble jumping the passing lanes too much, but when it does work out, it's just awesome to watch, and you see the way it impacts the game. It just seems like he always goes for that home run type of play, and you could say the same thing around the rim. He gets jumpy trying to block shots, and for someone that's not a freak athlete, that's a very good thing that you play with this continuously high motor. And when he is making these mental errors, or when he's making these errors defensively, it's not from a lack of effort, it's actually from
trying to do too much. So he does have the willingness to learn. He has a great work ethic, and he gives it his all out there on the basketball court. So his size and length does help him recover when he does make mistakes. Obviously, he's still going to have to get smarter, but a lot of his defense, like his defensive flaws, is trying to do too much. Sometimes he could like ball watch a little too much. He's just always trying to make that big time play, but it all comes down to decision making defensively for Orlando Robinson.
Like I said, he's not the best vertical jumping athlete, so that does limit him as a rim protector. He was still able to average around 1 block per game, but you have to look at the competition he's playing. You're going to have to look at how that translates to the NBA. But when you don't move your feet exceptionally well, and when you're not the best of athlete, and you're not the best of vertical jumping athlete, when you're going up against these physical, better athletes, it's going to be hard to block shots. But due to his wingspan, and if he understands that he's not going to have to be a crazy athlete versus certain types of personnel, I think it's enough with his wingspan to affect and alter shots. But he's a great work ethic. I'm sure he's going to try his best to get better defensively, despite not having a lot of athleticism. And I think it's overrated, athleticism, personally, if you have the basketball IQ, but athleticism can limit you in certain departments. But due to the tools, I think he could be a solid player. Who knows what's going to go on to happen with this guy? He has to go in the right situation. But I think he has a lot of talent, and the Knicks should definitely look at him in the second round. And I'm not saying he's going to be a starter for the New York Knicks, but maybe he could be a quality big one day. I don't know if he'll be quality as long as we have Tom Thibodeau here, because I know he likes to shorten rotations. But I think he's a very quality, solid basketball player. And I don't like to limit people when it comes to their potential, because a lot of people say this is like, they're always like, this is a very solid player, he's going to be solid at best, and they end up being better than that, because a lot of people may look at production, the way they move out there on the floor, but it comes down to work ethic, how bad they've really want it. And I feel he has some dog in him. Played at Fresno State. I'm not saying he's Paul George, but Paul George went to Fresno State. Again, I'm not saying he's Paul George, and Paul George is a better athlete or is a better athlete. But let me know down below your thoughts on Orlando Robinson, and peace out, y'all.